Hi everyone, just like I promised to show the video about how we actually painting bags, how we're prepping before painting. This is the video. I am planning to make several because it is a tedious process and it takes a lot of time and a lot of steps when you're prepping and when you're painting and sealing the bag. So I am going to break it down into several videos for that purposes. So on the left we have a painted Alma hot pink. So that's pretty much how the finished product looks like. And on the right we have just an old and very sad Alma. So if we look closer, you can see that this one is in its original condition. So let's take a look at the date code. So we've got some tarnished hardware, some stained leather, a little bit of a wrinkled monogram. So let's see what it says. Looks like 95. Yeah, so this bag was made in France in 1995. Yeah, it needs work for sure. So that's what we're going to show you. And pretty much you can paint it in any color you want. Well, this one in particular is hot pink, which is very popular, and you can pick anything you want. We have a large selection of colors. Several bags are in stock right now. You can visit mbellaboutique.com for more information on the inventory. But for now, we will concentrate on this one, and we will show you how to prep the bag before painting. So you need several things in order to prepare the bag for the rehab. So one of the tools, I guess not the tools, you need the scissors, you need the tape, and after you tape the bag, you will need some more powerful tools that will do the job for you. So one on the left, it's called, the official name of it is the power tool, but it's also a sander, which we use for the more detailed work. And on the right, it's also a sander, but for larger areas. We're also using sanding blocks, but in this video we won't show you how to use them. Not now. We will just concentrate on the power tools. So we will start, like I said, by taping the bag. And we will use the scissors to cut the tape. My personal suggestion, try not to cut short pieces. Don't make them short. Because when you're taking the tape off, it kind of becomes connected. Like all the pieces kind of like get connected together. And it's easier if they become just one large piece versus the small little pieces. So I'm definitely using larger pieces for this job. So you really want to make sure you get into hard to reach places. And the reason why, when you're painting your bag, this is a 2-day job. If you're doing a really good job, you would take your time. You would take your time. It's not going to be done in 2 or 3 hours. A good job is done, like it would take you at least 6 hours to do a really good job on a bag. And you really want to make sure you won't be able to clean up. If you make a mess on monogram with paint, you won't be able to clean it up immediately. So it will be sitting there for 2 days. And once you take the tape off, and if you have the paint on the monogram, it will not come off. You will have to use the deglazer to take it off. And the problem with that is you would take the factory sealing off as well. So it would look like a bare spot on a shiny monogram. And I will tell you later in one of my videos how to fix that. But for now, try to tape the bag very, very thoroughly so you don't make a mess on it and you don't have to do any cleanup. Pretty much the perfect outcome would be you take the tape off and it looks like the hot pink one that I showed you. So pretty much at this point, we're not doing any cleanups. Like everything is just, everything falls right into its place and is done the way it's supposed to be done. So you really want to make sure you get into those places. Just like that. So the tape would go under the leather trim. That is really, really, really important. And it only takes one piece. You don't have to apply several pieces of tape to the same spot. Just keep covering the surface. That's all you need to do. Also, at the same time, I do have the brass polisher, but I prefer to actually polish the hardware. It's not going to look brand new, but it will look much better than it does right now. I'm going to try to show you how dark it looks like. You cannot even see Louis Vuitton on it. So yes, it does tarnish in time, and you see how leather is stained and it just looks old and it's scratched, and you can see stitching coming out, which is all going to be fixed, and it will look brand new and perfect. Alright, so that's what it's gonna look like after you're done taping. We are not taping the whole bag. You do need to find something you will be drying your bag on, and we will get to it in the next video about painting the bag. So you will have to have the bag open. So make sure you don't have it closed, so it has to stay open like that, and you don't have to cover the whole bag with the tape. You really don't. Don't waste the tape, it's expensive. So you want to make sure that the handle actually touches the tape. So as long as you have this, you're fine. You don't need to do anything else. So the next step, we will be painting around here. I'm sorry, not taping. Why do I confuse these words all the time? But in any case, we would be taping this part right here. Okay? And you really want to make sure, once you get to sanding the bag, you want to sand everything but the heat stamp. In Alma's, we have the heat stamp on the side, right here. So please make sure you don't sand the heat stamp off. So that's very important. So just leave it alone. You can just apply the deglazer on it, and trust me, it's not going to make any difference. It won't peel. Even if you deglaze this small part and just paint it, it would be just fine. It will look like the rest of the bag. Alright, so now we want to apply the tape around the bottom. And you might want to use a tool just to create some space between the trim and the monogram, so the tape goes in more easily. It is a safe tool to use, so it doesn't damage the trim or the monogram. So things like that are really important. Like, the prepping work is everything. A lot of sellers are reaching out to me asking what I'm doing with my bags, because a lot of their customers are complaining the paint is peeling off. The bag is very old, so the deglazer will never work on the old leather. This leather has been absorbing sweat and dirt and everything else, and you can see how darkened it looks like. You really want to make sure you get a couple layers off before you start painting. That's very important. And you only need to have 3 layers of paint, no more than that. If you have to apply, you can tell once the bag is ready and you can see bare spots, you can see the surface is not even, that means you did something wrong. You only need 3 layers to cover the bag with the color. The paint will be absorbing into the leather after the first layer, and then you would just apply acrylic after you're done painting. But these little tricks will make your life so much easier if you want to paint the bag. You really want to make sure you're not going to mess up the monogram. So that is really the principle behind it. So now we will get to sanding. Alrighty, so now we're ready to sand. Just kind of like to get you ready for it, please wear a mask and protective glasses, because you will be taking off a couple layers of leather, so it's not going to be nice and pretty, let's put it that way. It's not dangerous, but you don't want to breathe in all these particles, that's all. We're usually sanding outside, but it's really rainy outside, and we just wanted to show parts of the work. We're not going to do the whole bag right now just because of the weather conditions, but it's preferable if you're doing it outside, if possible. If not, just, you know, just get ready to clean up after yourself. So we would use this tool for now, because these are the handles and they require a detailed work. So you're shooting for a couple hours worth of sanding. It's not going to be done immediately. You really want to make sure you're saving as much stitching as you can, and you're taking it off slowly, and you can see how nice leather is coming out. You're taking off the factory sealing first, then you're taking off a couple layers of leather. Okay, just like that. So you can tell how tedious this work is. But remember, you really want to be careful around stitching. On other surfaces, you can go faster and you can actually pick up the speed. We're using speed between 2 and 4. It's probably 2. Looks like 2 because 4 is much stronger. You can hear the sound. Can you change it to 4, please? And we can actually compare the sound. Yeah, you can tell when it's 4. Number 2 is more gentle way of sanding. Okay, so you really want to be careful with the stitching. Let me see if I can grab that angle for you. That's what it looks like. So he's saving as much stitching as he can, but at the same time he's sanding it. Yep, just like that. So these are the small areas. So let's move on to larger areas when we can pick up some speed and we no longer have to go so slow. Let's see how the handle would look like. And again, this is just the first time you're doing it. We're usually doing the detailed work like that. Then we're grabbing a sanding block and we're evening out the surface. You see how it's coming off? And you can see how layers are coming off. So we're usually using the speed number 2 and speed number 4. Okay, looks perfect. We're working on speed number 4 right now. Absolutely perfect. the paint will be just absorbing within seconds after the first layer. It takes practice, but with time you'll be able to do it with no problems. Alright, so we showed you how to sand the handles with the power tool like that. We're using it for the detailed work, and now we're moving on to the bottom of the bag with the tool that covers larger surfaces. Alrighty, so hopefully you were able to gain some insight from this video, how we doing the work. I know we're not showing you the whole process, but it takes a lot of time and effort to sand the whole bag, and you know, after that we're washing it and letting it dry overnight, so it's a 2-day job at least. But after all that hard work is done, you get this beautifully painted Alma. Rest assured, the paint will not peel off because you prepped the bag properly. Alrighty, till next time, thank you for watching.